During the 1980s, many environmentalists, human rights activists, and social workers protested against the building of large dams on the river Narmada. The strength of the voice of the common man was heard. Though the displaced received monetary compensation, the relocation plans were void of any strategy for their better future. Born and brought up in Nasik, after completing her college education, Bharati started working in the artillery center of the Indian government. But deep within, she longed for trekking, bird watching, studying plant life and visiting sanctuaries. When life was quietly moving on in the government service, one day she decided to go for Narmada Parikrama along with two friends. While on the Parikrama pilgrimage, she started contemplating on the purpose of life. And she found it. How did this happen? After making inquiries, she came to know that the compensation received by the villagers for being displaced was spent on alcohol, drugs and other vices. Now they neither had farmland nor any money. Bharati was terribly disturbed to know the plight of the displaced. She could visualize that if nothing was done, the future generations would be in peril. She found a solution, a change in the thought process to remove the darkness of ignorance from the future lives of these children. Overwhelmed with compassion, she decided to devote the rest of her life in the lap of the river Narmada for educating these children. Being taught through entertaining media, the children found that the learning was easy and enjoyable. There was no more fear of study. The strategy worked, and within a month and a half, the number of students increased from 14 to 132. Bharati could not teach so many children simultaneously. She involved the village ladies who were slightly literate. Now Bharati became their Didi, the elder sister. Now there was no looking back. Though Didi initially started Narmadalay in the village Lepa for the children of displaced families, later she expanded her work to include other villages too. Her work spread over many villages besides Lepa, including Amlatha and Naharkhedi. This was the beginning of a grand project. Didi realized that along with education, creating awareness about healthcare was equally important and necessary. To undertake this work on a large scale, she realized the need for establishing an organization. After consulting her well-wishers Mr. Koche and Mrs. Kalyani, Didi established Narmada, the Nimad Abhyuday Rural Management and Development Association, on the 24th of August 2010. The schools started by Narmada were referred to as Narmadalay. Until now, Didi utilized her pension income to pay for all the expenses of the organization. The villagers highly appreciated Didi's generosity, but the limited pension income was inadequate to support the activities of Narmada. As luck would have it, an unexpected benefactor appeared on the scene.
I was teaching in a nearby village when one of our teachers from Lepa called to inform me that a holy man known as Talwar Baba wanted to meet me. I approached him and asked, "Why did you call me?" He said that he has built a big ashram on a land that was allotted to him during the process of rehabilitation. He put the land title papers of the ashram in my hands and said, "My dear, from today onwards, this ashram is for your students."
The activities of Narmada increased rapidly. Around this time, they received a substantial donation from a Mumbai-based granting agency, and Narmada activities spread to 8 villages, benefiting 850 children. Suddenly, one day, the aid was stopped. The reason? A survey commissioned by the government confirmed that every village in India has a school and 98% of the children are enrolled in the school. though the ground reality was very different. The dropout rates are alarming and children fall victim to the practice of child labor. Due to the termination of the financial assistance from the Bombay-based agency, Didi decided to confine her work to LEPA. When her friends in Nasik came to know of this decision, they were disappointed.
My friends offered to take on the responsibility, saying, "We cannot do what you are doing. We cannot do what you are doing, but we can. We definitely can accomplish the goal of recruiting 850 families." And they did. And they did what they promised.
Many of the children here were malnourished. They didn't even get 2 meals every day. Didi immediately arranged midday meals for the children. Started 10 years ago with 14 children, the expansion of Narmadalay is astonishingly successful. 3 middle schools run by Narmadalay are recognized by the Education Department of the Government of Madhya Pradesh. The children at these schools are taught free of cost. Today, about 1,800 children from 15 different villages are taking advantage of this free education to better their futures and increase their knowledge as well as confidence in their abilities. The teacher training program of Narmadalay is benefiting many teachers. In particular, many girls who have successfully completed the 10th or 12th standards have gained confidence to take up teaching as a career. Some of them have even landed jobs in government schools. In many villages, there are no classes beyond the 8th standard. The children in these villages have to go to the nearest town or city for further education. The children from economically weak families have to face many financial hurdles. For such children, Narmadalay started a skills development program. Under this program, children are imparted professional skills in various trades such as repairing electrical appliances, plumbing, tailoring, masonry, two-wheeler repairing, dairy farming and organic farming. Narmadalay also empowers women in these villages by providing them skills in tailoring and sewing quilts. This turns them into financially strong family members. These empowered, confident women had to struggle hard to cross many hurdles to come to Narmadalay and work there.
When I came here from Nasik, I did not foresee that this work would expand to such an extent. Now I am extremely happy with the change that Narmadalay has brought about in the lives of the children in the villages around Lepa. The divine inspiration from Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa and Ma Sharada, and the helping hands of many well-wishers will help me future also in expanding this work and in improving the lives of many more children.